loves to do. Baby, fall with them mouths closed too. Put our phones in the box by the door. We don't want information leak out no more. Accountability and transparency is no more the motto of NDC. It's all about secrecy and confidentiality. We know we ain't perfect, so don't pressure we. What goes around comes back around. Things used to leak since NNP was in town. Two big men went to Barbados. What happened up there? Nobody knows. All we know, we've lost 73 million. They blame NNP for slow implementation. Now we've lost the Western Road project. Not even the brightest lawyer could have interject. We could have sensories and Pomori. They would have bought back the money for we. This is not politics. Please don't forget, I'm just practicing to be a poet. Not qualified as yet, but have no fear, I'm gonna get there. I'm not in this world to live up to your expectation. Neither are you in to live up to mine. I don't owe no one, no obligation. No one owes me none, so everything is fine, fine. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. Serious business. There is a time for everything, and for everything there is a season. So man and man must reason. So I think it's prime time that we address some more issues. Simple information I will use. No rocket science to get you confused. So relax your mind, make sure everything is fine while I take you down a poetic line. Trick us with campaign promises. We won't stay at ease, that's the way it is. We've worked it in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain. But you now refrain, you now refrain. I remember you say Liberation Day, and I ask, you sure is that you wanna say? Cause it sounded so good to believe. And deception is a powerful thing when you lose your rightful thinking. So we voted for the blame. But you trick us with campaign promises. We won't stay at ease, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain. But you now refrain, you now refrain. Yellow, yellow all the way is what everybody say. Cell phone ring, man answering. Yellow, yellow, no hello. Teeth get yellow, house get yellow, bus get yellow, man get yellow, even green get yellow. And so says 11-4. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain. But you now refrain, you now refrain. Old school parables say you know what you have, but you don't know what you go get. So cherish what you have to diminish regret. But what on earth lasts forever? Not even things created by the great Jehovah. So the green grass ceased to grow to allow the yellow vibes to flow. But boy, one song I sing, one bell I ring. If we didn't know, we'd never know yellow would have treat us so. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain. But you now refrain, you now refrain. They began with the blame game, giving NNP more fame. Past administration, the cause of frustration. Past administration, chief of corruption. Then to economic recession, we can't give you attention. Economic recession, the cause of poverty in the land. Economic recession, no employment for the ordinary man. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain. But you now refrain, you now refrain. power to cool down the yellow temperature. When will they start? Please answer that. Oh, soon, soon, soon. Maybe by the next full moon. Although things are turning at a very slow pace, we now run the race. 5 years is a lot of space. It's just a few hungry people in a place and a few disgruntled grim people with their vexed face. When they trick us with campaign promises, we won't say it is. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you're not refrain. You're not refrain. Busy governing, busy managing, busy politicking, busy neglecting, busy inflicting poverty and hunger throughout Grenada. 1,000 Frenchmen can never be wrong, but you hold your yellow conviction strong, strong, strong. So why not send them advisors home? They're sucking money like water in foam. And rehire the Imanis, less stress on the economy. You want Manchester, whole of the country? You don't see us down by the Bury when they send SSU to between. Trick us with campaign promises. We won't say it is, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you're not refrain. You're not refrain. So we've heard about your internal division, but some can't digest that one. Remember the man say he's an asset to the party? And will we vote you without him? You left him with Glenn alone. Maybe they're cloned. And however, I foresee a pretensive unity that will mislead a lot just before the next ballot. But you guys will have to come real good, cause it's a long time Grenada ain't eating food. You think politician?
And good night to Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name's Sheldon Scott. I'll be with you up until the 10 o'clock hour.
But you're not refrain. You're not refrain. You remember in the Bible?
Saying a special good night to all of you joining us via the YouTube. And those of you joining us via Facebook. Also to the listeners joining us via 91.9, 91.5 Real FM.
Politicians sometimes form a crooked batch.
Our listeners out there in Brooklyn via 94.9 We Noise Radio.
$1 million house and brand new car on the scene, while our hungry belly still grumbling. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you're not refrain. So you know people say, next election, me stay that finger, cause after we say enough from Jonah, here comes still with more pressure and hunger. And from the mouth of Grenada, only one thing I utter, the Congress...
Yeah, just letting the numbers build up. Let me see who's on the line there. Yeah, as I'm letting the numbers build up. Let me see. I'm seeing Shemi, Jocelyn, Nigel, Phyllis. I'm seeing Wendy and Patrick, Denise, Langdon. And I'm speaking here about the YouTube. Red Girl, you're there. Diana, Donna, Cynthia, Andre, Kathy, Albert, good night to you. Elon, ShopRite, Kinza, good night. Marilyn, Sharon, Dominic, Nadia, Ann, Cindy, Tyrone, Shona, Figgy, Linda, Imelda, Francois, Edlin, Bevin, Denise, Indra, Agatha, Winnie, Leonard, and Marie. I'm seeing all of you there on the Facebook and many others joining right now. Tati, good night to you. Teresa, good night to you. And over on the YouTube, yeah, let me see. Manda, Public. Yes, good night. Yeah, I like your name. Public Notice. Gavin, Jillian, Dave, Marilyn, Beavis. Let me see who else is there. Devin, Sarah Lynn, Cousin Koi, good night to you. Londa, Gertrude, Abraham, good night. Alan, Matthew out there in Brooklyn, Henry Chaiton, Kathleen, Christine, Hillary, and Missy Norma, Brother Watts, good night. Nursey, Anika, good night to you. And Jakeem, Anne-Marie, Angie, Oswald, Kathlina, it's Kathina, good, yeah, I think I pronounced it correctly. Gemma, Jackie, Jillian, and Jillian, yeah, different Jillians. Cynthia, and Barbara, Eliza, Errol, Lisha, Sherma, yeah, Deborah. Good night to all of you who are joining us via the YouTube, all of you who are joining us via the Facebook.
No one knows me none, so everything is fine. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am.
Yeah, and before we go anywhere further tonight, I want to offer our condolences to ASP Sylvan McIntyre and his family on the loss of his son in that unfortunate accident this morning. So we'd like to offer the Talking Points families sincerest condolences to you and your entire family on the tragic loss of your son this morning. Yeah.
And for everything there is a season, so man and man must reason. So I think it's prime time that we address some more issues. Simple information I will use, no rocket science to get you confused. So relax your mind, make sure everything is fine, while I take you down a poetic line. Trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, I remember you say Liberation Day, and I ask, you sure is that?
Yeah, and folks, those of you on the YouTube, remember to like and subscribe. So all of you who are tuned in now, remember to, if you are not yet subscribed, don't click on the subscribe button if you're already subscribed, because then you'll unsubscribe yourself. So you have got to make sure that you're subscribed, and you've got to like and share the video. Yeah, and those of you on the Facebook, remember to like and share. Yeah, like and share and follow the Talking Points page, because we're going to start to put up more and more information there as time progresses.
And so says 11:4. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain. Old school parables say you know what you have, but you don't know what you go get. So cherish what you have to diminish regret. But what on earth lasts forever?
I hope that's a little better. Some folks say I was coming across a little low.
So the green grass ceased to grow to allow the yellow vibes.
So again, condolences to ASP Sylvan McIntyre on the loss of his son this morning.
We never know yellow would have treated us so. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain.
And you know, as I mentioned that, let me just take the opportunity as well. We're seeing a lot of quote unquote madness taking place on our nation's roads of late. Yeah. Ever since a little child and not being on Grenada, my dearly departed father always used to say that Grenada has some of the best, if not the best, drivers in the world. Once you learn to drive in Grenada, you could drive anywhere. He always said Grenada has the best drivers. But even with the best drivers, with some of the madness that you're seeing on the roads right now, for instance, this morning, while on a bus coming out of Grand Dance, a truck, not one of the Mack trucks, but a Delta truck, a white one, didn't have time to get the number, overtook the bus and about 4 other vehicles, traveling nearly about 60 miles an hour, and overtook these 4 vehicles on a pedestrian crossing in front of school. You understand what I'm saying here? He saw what he thought was an opportunity to take over about 4 vehicles and overtook those 4 vehicles on a pedestrian crossing in front of school. So you could very well imagine what the possibilities of overtaking on a pedestrian crossing at a school, would cause. That's the kind of madness that we have going on the roads right now. You're telling me that we have to take police officers and put at every crossing to make sure that some of us that are driving on our nation's roads can't just do the right thing? That every weekend, I mean, look, this weekend you've had accidents until you've actually had down to a police vehicle being struck by another vehicle. Well, I don't know who strike who. I don't know if the police vehicle bongs the next vehicle or the next vehicle bongs the police vehicle. So let me reserve statement on who bongs who. But it got to that stage as well over this weekend. Because some people can't handle their liquor and drive. And you're not supposed to do it. The unnecessary speeding. We all know the speed limit on the stretch. We all know the speed limit when you're on the Maurice Bishop Highway, as we say, the stretch. But some of us like to test the vehicle a little bit. So we like to accelerate as we're going down. Yeah? There's a fact in it. Some of the madness that we see taking place at night. And you know, a lot of times you hear the busmen getting blamed. And yes, I would admit that busmen do a lot of nonsense. But I'll tell you something. If you want to be really honest with yourself and look, these days, I believe the busmen are the better drivers. With some of the craziness that I'm seeing other drivers on the road doing. Some of the truck drivers. I mean, my goodness. You're driving a truck, you're carrying gravel, you know you're going to be going up and down hills. Yet still they're overloading the truck. And then when it comes like areas like Morass Hill and so, you better not be passing there with a motorbike or so anytime soon. Because it's full of gravel. And then the companies that own the trucks or the individuals that own the trucks who know that it's their truck that's dropping the gravel in these places, they're not coming back to even try and clean it or say, well, let's try and get somebody to clean it. I know in Morass Hill at a point in time last year, there was a lady that was doing some sales and so in that area. And she used to try to keep the junction and so a little clean. Every day she would go and sweep and clean it up. And so I haven't seen her in the longest while, so I don't know what went on. But these are the kind of things that we have to be checking on. Yeah? You're seeing all kind of weird things happening when it coming to driving. People just want to speed everywhere, speed. Some people just get a license just last week. You want to get a vehicle rent this week. I know we're renting, but they want to speed, overtake anyway. And again, everybody keep blaming the busman, the busman, the busman, the busman. Right now, the busman is the safer drivers on the road, if you ask me. I believe that the busman is actually the safer drivers. Some of them actually driving better than what I am seeing taking place on the road right now. And then sometime somebody just messaged and said it there. Some of them driving and they're on the mobile. They ain't using a Bluetooth, you know. They have the mobile here and the other hand on the steering wheel and they're carrying on the conversation or they're quarreling with somebody or they're checking and they're driving going down the road. That's what's taking place, all this kind of madness. And then we expect the same Royal Grenada Police Force that is in chaos right now to go and police this. When they could have been focused on other things to keep us safe, they have to go now and focus on telling us that we know we're not supposed to be driving while using a mobile phone. They're going to be they have to come to tell us that, isn't it? They have to come and tell us that right now. They have to come and tell us that if you need to make a call or so, to go and pull to the side of the road, somewhere, stop, make your call, and proceed. Or get a Bluetooth device that you could use when you're driving. The police have to come and tell us that, right? The police have to come and tell us now that when we're driving at night, to come and take off the high beam out of people's eye. Because not everyone sees the same. So some people can't see when you have on the high beam. And yes, I'm fully aware that some vehicles that are coming in now, they have different types of lights and they have the highlights and the different. Yeah, but some of them have a lower setting, but some people refuse to drive on the lower setting. They just want to drive on the highest setting and blind everybody in the road. Once they can see where they're going, that's the main thing. So they don't care if the vehicle that's coming from the other direction might contain a pregnant relative of theirs on the way to the hospital or on the way to some activity, and they blind the driver of that vehicle. They don't care. All they care is, I see where I'm going. To hell was everybody else. That's the kind of thing that we see going on right now that we have to put a stop to. Now you've had a situation, and again, I can't speak to the situation this morning, but somebody has died. Somebody's son, somebody's brother has died. And again, I don't know the circumstances surrounding it, but I'm saying that some of what I'm seeing on the road right now, we have to check ourselves. Those of us that are drivers, we have to check ourselves. But also, Royal Grenada Police Force, we understand you all under pressure. But you all may have to redo something. Yeah, or you all may have to look at something. Because I'm telling you, what is going on there right now, and some of the madness, some of these people, you need to take their life. Honestly, some of these crazy people that are seeing on the road right now, before they take somebody's life, you need to take their license. I'm being honest. Some of them, before it gets to that stage, don't wait until it gets to that stage. Yeah? Don't wait until it gets to that stage. You all need to deal with that. And someone is telling me here that let me see. I'm wondering what is taking place there, because somebody is telling me that the screen is blank, but I think you're the only person that is happening to. I am not sure. Yeah, I am not sure why that is so. Are some of you getting any problem with either page? Let me see. Yeah, I think the Facebook was sticking. Let me see. Yeah. So are you all seeing everything okay? Just let me know. Because in the case of that individual, maybe they just need to refresh their page. If they're seeing this, if they're hearing me, they probably need to, yeah, everybody else is saying everything is okay. So probably they just need to refresh their page. So again, how you really expect the police to do their job effectively when they're being treated the way that they're treated? So you have people within the police force, the people who are supposed to be dealing with these issues, like what is the craziness that's taking place on the roads. And I hope that they really didn't have to do that. I'm hoping it was a situation that we are able to deal with these things on our own as individuals, that we are all able to address these situations on our own instead of having to wait for the police to have to deal with these things for us. Yeah? I'm hoping that it gets to that stage that we would deal with these things on our own and not have to wait for the police to tell us that that is the situation. Let me just take this call because somebody was telling me they're having a problem with the line. Let me just see. Hello?
Salam, good night. But
Hi.
the screen, everything clear and nice.
Okay, well, that individual probably has a problem with theirs then.
The Facebook thing clear, the television is clear. I just letting you know.
Okay,
So
great.
maybe
Thank
something
you.
might be wrong with that first note.
Yes, I feel
But
that's the case.
you have a nice blue shirt, so I could tell you what shirt you have. All right, good night.
All right, Cammy. When Cammy tell me my shirt nice, I feel good. I know Cammy has style. When Cammy touch down. Yes, folks. So I'm telling you, that madness that we're seeing on the road has to stop. And then, here's what. Get a designated driver. When you saw what happened after the shows, yeah, and that's why I would always say to the Netherlands Insurance, yeah, I always say about Netherlands Insurance, I like something that they do, particularly at some of the activities where they have a sober up tent. So they have a tent that they put up after certain activities, not all, but some activities where you could go and you get a cup of coffee and so on and some water so you could refresh yourself and catch yourself before you go behind the wheel of a vehicle and drive. And probably with more of the events happening, some of the insurance companies and some of the other companies, yeah, need to start doing that to assist, because it's a serious situation. Look at the weekend. Nearly every time you go onto Facebook or social media over the weekend, you see another accident, another vehicle that crashed. If they ain't crash into a pole, they overturn in a ditch, all kind of madness. And in most instances, when you look at the vehicle, you could tell nothing is wrong with the vehicle, so it's something with the driver. Either they were speeding and they lost control, yeah, or they were inebriated. So we really have to get a clamp on that. But as I was saying too, you can't expect the police. You can't expect the police. And some people keep saying that the volume is low, but I'm seeing the volume is okay here. I wonder. Let me try the audio here. Probably the audio here I need to adjust. That may solve that problem. Yeah. I think I fixed the audio a little bit there. Yeah. So I'm saying that we can't expect the police to operate optimally. We can't say that we expect them. Yeah, I thought that refreshing the page would fix that. That the police would operate in the way they're supposed to operate. When you have people in acting positions over a year now who should have already been, that acting period should have been completed with them, and they ought to have been confirmed into the positions that they are now acting in, and that isn't being done, and no proper explanation or reasoning is being given to these individuals, and they go across from Petit Martinique right down to Point Saline. Yeah? No proper explanation is being given to these officers as to why that is being done to them. The acting allowance has been removed since September. Well, if you remove the acting allowance in September, you could appoint them to the substantial position, but instead of doing that, they take out the acting allowance, and now these officers are carrying out the duties at the rank in which they are acting without receiving their acting allowance. That's unfair. Since September. I think it's police officers can't go and strike and that kind of thing, you know. So how you expect them to deal with that? And some people are still saying they're hearing me low, and I'm wondering where that problem is coming from. I think one person said it's up good now, so let's see if let's see if that's working there. Let me check on the other side. Yeah. Okay, right. I think that should be okay. Yeah. So at least address some of the issues with the Royal Grenada Police Force. Let's call on the government to address some of those issues. But let's also take our personal responsibility for the madness that's going on the road right now. All of us as drivers, vehicle owners, let us all take responsibility for some of the madness that we see going on the roads right now. Yeah, let me just get this one here. Nice. Wonder what's happening here again. No, I'm not hearing. So I'm wondering what's going on here. Oh, I see. No, that's not it either. Yeah, I'm having an issue in here tonight, and I'm not seeing exactly where it's coming from. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not seeing where that issue is coming from here. With my music in particular, I'm not seeing it. Yeah. But anyway, 440-7377, that's the number for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. Yeah, I honestly don't know what's going on here tonight. Yeah, you know, sometimes things does happen. All the time the music was playing okay. Now, all of a sudden, nah, ain't working. And I don't understand why. Yeah, 440-7377. So yeah, and over the weekend, we saw the National Democratic Congress had their convention. So everybody been talking about, oh, they're going to have their convention, and speaking about when the new National Party will have its convention. So they shouldn't worry about that too much. I wonder, why are the people in the NDC, not the NNP people, you know, some of them are being influenced, but not the NNP people. I'm wondering, why are the NDC people so invested in when the NNP has a convention? We have a caller. Hello, good night.
Hey, hello, good night, Sheldon. How you do?
Hey, I'm fine, man.
Yeah, happy Monday to one and all and everybody listening to Talking Points. It seems to be like the people on Facebook hearing you low, but I'm hearing you very good on YouTube.
And I'm
YouTube
trying
audio is very good on my end. I don't know, but the Facebook side is something kind of sketchy.
Yeah, and I'm wondering what's going on here with my audio out of my board too. It's giving me a problem, and I'm trying to figure out why. Yeah.
So probably you may have to.
I think I found the issue for the for the board. Yeah, I found the issue with the board. Nice, yeah. My hand must have touched the yeah, but on the
Yeah,
keyboard.
for them buttons, man.
Yeah.
For the buttons.
So I've got that
Yeah.
one sorted out. But
Yeah,
if there's a problem on the Facebook,
point.
yeah, go ahead.
I've been listening to the couple utterances from the Minister of Labour / and all these portfolios that she have concerning what has been happening with the commissioner, the Labour commissioner. And you know, I just sat back and I was thinking, well, this new Labour commissioner was on contract, and it appears, in my opinion, that this Labour commissioner wasn't to the line of this administration. And it appears that she was on a 2 years contract. So you know what I'm thinking?
Mm-hmm.
If this Labour commissioner was sacked and she was on contract, and I put in a scenario, and she didn't want to toe the lines of the present AG and the present the Labour minister for sacking people with contracts and so forth, that Minister of Labour opened a can of worms. And I sense that all these people that were sent home who was on contract for lining with yellow jersey or having a yellow band or going to a function, that Labour minister opened a can of worms that she will not be able to close. And I will say it now. She either needs to recluse one of her positions, either recluse the AG position or the Labour minister position, because since day one, since I was listening to the swearing of these ministers and the portfolios was given, since that very day when I heard this lady have all these positions, I sat up in a shop I was. And I said, fellas, y'all are hearing what is happening here right now. And they were saying, no, she could do it because she's a lawyer. I say, yes, but there's a conflict of interest. And yet we are seeing now what is happening. It could move to roost. So who don't know politics and who don't understand civics and political science and only want to listen to us say that nonsense, good luck on them. But it is what it is. Let's see what happens, But, I mean, it's a kind of serious thing happening right now. And I hope that the former Labour commissioner comes out and give her side truthfully and expose what is happening, because it doesn't always well when you listen to that press conference and you look at the Labour minister and her positioning, her posturing and how she was speaking. It was something right. So I'll be back in a few bits. Yeah?
No problem, my brother.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, and Antonito helped me there, because while he talking, I'm trying to sort out and thing. And some people telling me they're hearing it good now on YouTube and on Facebook. Some were having the problem on Facebook. I know that I'm loud and clear on Real FM. So, yeah, anybody still having an issue with either one, let me know. I think the internet itself has been kind of spotty today. Not necessarily in this location. I know we had a power outage earlier and I had to reset everything because we had that power outage. I don't know if that's why some of the problems I've been having there are happening, but I hope all of it is okay. And yeah, Antonito spoke about the issue with the Labour Commissioner. And again, the ex-Labour Commissioner, who is she going to complain to? Is the ex-Labour Commissioner going to go now to the Labour Commissioner, the acting Labour Commissioner, who is the person that was deputy to her, and the same people within the same department that, from what the Minister of Labour is saying, that she can't work with, and make a complaint that she was unfairly dismissed? Or, and remember, if that happens, you have to have the mediation and all this thing have to take place, and then you may have the Minister of Labour having to rule on the issue. And we heard what the Minister of Labour said. The Minister of Labour already said this was the situation. So mediation and thing wouldn't work in this instance, because you've heard the Minister of Labour say why they fire somebody. Right? And then remember, if advice has to be given to government in relation to the legal aspect of this thing, it's the same Labour Minister as the Attorney General that have to provide that information now to the government. And if it has to go over to the Public Service Commission, then remember, the sister of the Labour Commissioner is over in the Public Service Commission. You can't make this stuff up. You seriously cannot make this stuff up. Let me take a caller. Hello, good night. Hello. Hi, good night. Hello.
Hey, good night, Brother Sheldon.
You go right ahead. You're live.
How everything?
I'm good.
Brother Sheldon, NEC had a convention, right? And I see they make some change in the executive. Brother Sheldon, six and a half a dozen is the same, no different. Because it's the old heads that was in the back there, pulling the string and doing all them wickedness toward the Greenland people. Right? They changed the chairman, they changed the chairman of the PRO, I think, and you have a deputy leader. All of them are the old head. They're the same set of people that they were saying they should go in wheelchair. Even the older folks that was within they should go in wheelchair. But then I wonder if the wheelchair make them young because even if they wheelchair they get young while on wheelchair they're too old. Get rid of them. And what if it happen now? The same who those that are on wheelchair, they come back. But they didn't go nowhere. They was there behind doing encourage the younger one to do what they're doing. Right? It is no surprise bringing back the older heads because the older head was there and they were doing all the wickedness, encourage the young one, the children to do the green people what they was what they was going through. And Brother Sheldon, just sometimes I always say to great people, we have to know our history. And if we don't know our history, we will continue making the same mistake. Right? We have to know because you have a government right now, and the interest is on to serve itself. It is serving the great people. Right? And I remember the commission said in campaign, when a man come into politics, he don't have money. Right? What he will do, he will help himself. He will help himself first before he help people. He will help, and that's exactly what going on. Instead of helping the Grenadian people who that need it, they're helping themselves. Where people want to help to invest, they can't get it. But a man who and don't pay, delinquent, they pay not the debt, his loan, he's still getting it. So you see what they are doing, they putting the people in all position. So when the friends want money, they could get it easy. When someone wants money to invest and they invest in themselves and they go hire 2 or 3 persons, they can get that 10,000, they can get that at 20,000. But a man who wants 2 million plus two plus something $1 million, they could get it. And Brother Sheldon, I want to say again, Grenada is on the back foot. Right? And Grenada need prayer, Grenada need deliverance. And are calling upon the churches to come out and speak. Because when NMP was there, they quick to speak and talk about that can be changed, that can be changed NMP. But what happened to them? I don't know if they got their coma or if what happened they tongue they crying with the bottom with their mouth closed. They need to open them up because when you put water in the mouth and mouth closed for a certain time, it will spit it out. And then when you mouth closed and you want to talk and can talk, your pressure could go up. So Sheldon, how about it?
All right. Thank you very much, caller. Yes, indeed. And folks, yeah, let me tell you, I listened to, well, I wanted to say the rally that the NDC had. I tried to listen to what they call a rally. They could just admit that they boss. I mean, they could say that because the prime minister, and I know usually they say they're doing things differently. So we'll give them that. They're doing things differently. So let me start at the rally before I move further up. And somebody was calling me on the overseas line a while ago. Okay, let me take this call and then I'd come back to NDC and the rally. Oh boy, let me give the priority to the overseas line since that person was calling. Hello. Hello. Yeah, caller, you're live. Just lower the volume in the background first, but you're live.
All right, no problem.
Yeah, you're on. Yeah, go. Hello? Yeah. Lower the volume in the back first. Lower it down.
Hey?
The volume in the back is coming over very high to us, so you need to lower it down first.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry. You'll go hear yourself after. Don't worry. Hello? Yeah, just
Hello, Shalon.
yes. Go ahead. Oh boy, caller, you'll have to call us back, because we're hearing too much
Okay.
at the
I'm
background.
on.
Oh, good, nice. You're good now. Go
All
ahead.
right.
Yeah.
So I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
My question.
Go ahead.
Okay. Right. My question is the past Minister of Labor was given a contract for 2 years, right?
Labor Commissioner.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
She
2
was
years.
given
Yeah.
they said she was given a contract for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And within 1 month, she could not work with the staff.
Within 118 days.
So she was terminated. Claudette came and she said that all government is in the hole for is 1 month pay. Now I'm at a loss because if I'm on contract for 2 years and you fire my ass, excuse me, sorry, I shouldn't say that. You fire me and you say I can't work with the people. If I know right, I'm supposed to get paid for 2 years because you state that I can't work with the people. No, I'm the boss, and I come and I lay out A for apple, B for bad, C for cat. But because the people who were there prior to me, if it was that way, did what I laid out in their own way, and you work with that. As the new head in charge, you're supposed to do what I do and what I say to do. Mm-hmm. So, if you want to fire me because I put down my foot and said this is how it has to be done, how could the government be only on track for 1 month worth of pay? The person before me said, Grenada, if the people start thinking, we in for a lot to see. The thing is, everybody should realize, Claudette can't see straight, so I know how they could get a position. She's looking at the two positions in one way. All right? And I'm not disrespecting her, but we have too much a square peg in the wrong hole. If this was the NNP, my God, I wonder how much lawsuit will already gone against the NNP because of that.
Well, I definitely say that I believe this is a case that can be taken successfully to court. I agree with you. I believe this could successfully be taken to court by Mrs. Thomas, the ex-Labor Commissioner.
Yes, it could be. It could. Not it could be. It could. Because, Sheldon, I mean, come on. You know what it is. If you are given a contract, and 180, you say that I can't work with the staff, which I'm supposed to be managing, and you fire me just like that, and you want to tell me you're going to pay me for 1 month?
You know another thing?
How that could work?
You know another thing, caller?
You breach the contract.
It sets a bad precedent for whoever else has to come and take over. Because
Correct.
You have to watch how you're correcting the staff. You have to be careful how you move with them. Because it means that you could also be losing your contract if you're a contract or whatever. You could be losing your job.
You have breached your contract by your contract with me by saying the staff cannot work with me. Mm-hmm. The staff has to work with me. You give me that position because of my qualification and my experience.
Yeah, you've got a point, yeah. All right, my friend.
Man, listen, I'm not living in Grenada right now, but everything that happening in Grenada affects me as a Grenadian. Green, yellow, whatever color. All right? I am for progress. Mm-hmm. And as I tell my friends and them already, okay, you all drink the Kool-Aid again. Remember, we got caught in that already, and we saw what happened. I'm not saying we don't need change, but if you want to do change, do it in the right way and put people that know, or if you come in and you meet something that's working, work with it. Don't try to fix it because it's not broken. Have a good night, my brother.
Thank you very much, and feel free to call back anytime. All right, yes, indeed. 4407377. And for those of you 347-329-3101, for those of you outside of Grenada, remember you can also call via, I nearly said via Facebook, via WhatsApp. And some news just in while we're talking, another person has been struck down by a vehicle. But in this case, I'm hearing it's a case where the individual was trying to escape from the police and they ran across the road straight into a vehicle. So this one is not the driver's fault. Well, according to how the driver was driving, this person was trying to escape from the police and they have been struck by a vehicle. So that is what I am just getting from a very reliable source. And let me see, yes, I'm seeing others speaking about it as well, saying that this has happened. But what I'm hearing, the person was running from the police and a vehicle struck. While we're talking here now, that has happened again on our nation's road. Again, all right? Yes, so yeah, look again, more messages coming in relation to that one. Another accident taking place in Grenada. We're going to come, well, on the issue of the Labour Commission, I must say that that press conference has left me, and I am sure all of you, with more questions and answers. And my advice, my humble advice to Valerie Thomas is check with your lawyer. It has been impunged on your character, your professional character, that you are incapable of working with others. No matter which part of the world that you go, the message that has been sent out by the Minister of Legal Affairs, by the Minister of Labor here in Grenada, is that you are incapable of working with others. And this could affect your ability to find a job in another jurisdiction, and especially within Grenada. Because, for instance, if one of the larger companies wanted to hire you now, they are going to think twice, because they're going to say, well, look, the information we have is that this individual is incapable of working with others. And as such, we ought not to consider them for whatever position it is, because we always had to work with somebody. Nobody does work on their own all the time. Sooner or later, you have to interact with other people. Yeah, even sole traders, you still have to interact with people. If you're doing a business on your own, you still have to interact with other people. That's how you make money. All right? So my humble advice to you, and I know you're going to get the advice because people around you, I know, listen to the program. You're probably listening to the program tonight. No, we on Talking Points have nothing bad to say about you. Lady, I don't know you. From what I heard, you were supposed to be the best thing since sliced bread to enter into the Ministry of Labor. So said the same individual that came and then said that you had to part ways with you because I don't know, cat fight take place. I don't know. All I'm saying is check with your lawyer, because I believe what is being done to you and what is being done to your character and what is being done to your profession, I believe that requires some sort of dealing with it. Yeah. And don't afraid to air it in the public if you don't want to go the legal way. Don't afraid to call. You could call Talking Points and say it, Yeah, call. I don't mind. Call Talking Points and say this is what happened. Yeah, we don't mind. Right? Nice. Good. 440-7377. Yeah, and I was going to speak about the NDC convention earlier. And we all saw what happened there. Now, I want those of you that are elder enough to take your minds back to about 10 years ago. Right? So, young people, yeah, sit around grandpa and listen. Yeah. So, those of you that are elder enough to take your minds back to about 10 years ago, remember, about 10 years ago, when the NDC had a convention in it was 2012. Yeah, the NDC had a convention in 2012 and they expelled a pile of members. And you know what happened after that? Remember, the old guard, the people who were behind juking the fire all the time. Remember the statement that one of them make? We are back. He put his hand like that. He said, we are back. Because they was pushing things from behind all the time with the full intention of taking over the party. Now, I looked at the makeup of the NDC executive now. Remember, and during this week, we are at different points, not tonight. I have them, but I want to deal with some other things tonight. We are going to play for you what was said at the end of the last convention, oh, this is a new, vibrant NDC. That's what they said, innit? Driven by young people. All the young people get kicked out. Yeah? In with the old, out with the young. That's what has taken place in the NDC right now. In with the old, out with the young. So the chairman moved from somebody that is a young person, fairly young, to somebody that is retired. Yeah? We see the general secretary was challenged by a youngster. They were challenged. Yeah? And while they were challenged, the youngster lose. And I don't think Andy Williams realized that is his own NDC people, not NNP. His own NDC people that do him that. So when you see George Worm write an article for you, Andy Williams, George Worm was not trying to help you. George Worm was ensuring that you lost. You didn't have enough political sense to understand what George Worm was doing to you. And plus, me ain't taking George Worm word for anything. This guy has lost several cases where it has been proven that what he published was untrue. I never had a case yet. And I don't intend to have none. George Worm has lost several cases where it has been proven in court that he lied in his newspaper. Why must I take his word? If Andy had a talk, let Andy come out and talk for himself. What, he afraid to go and talk with Kalistra? He afraid Kellan Bob? He afraid to go and do an interview with GBN or MTV or one of them and say that, hey, this thing is true or untrue? I ain't taking George Worm word for anything. But if he did do an interview with George Worm, Andy, you ain't realize where George do you? You didn't have enough political sense to understand what he was doing to you. He was making sure that the delegates at the NDC will not trust you and would not support you. And therefore, there was no way in hell, after that came out, you was going and win any general secretary position. You didn't even realize that the people around you is who do you that. Not the NNP, you know. Because I said, I've been hearing about this thing since last year. I haven't spoken about it much. I haven't said much about it. But realize, it's your own NDC people that have been pushing those stories out there because they possibly find that within their organization, you are a little too popular, so that to cut you down to size. And I ain't giving you advice. I'm just telling you exactly what happened to you. I ain't telling you. Is your own NDC people doing that? So you thought you'd actually go and win general secretary after that George Worm article? Yeah, you had to be joking. You ain't understand politics. Your own people do that. Yeah? Not the NNP. Your own people did you that within your own organization. And look at the makeup of the NDC executive. So all the people who was hiding in the background and pushed the young faces in front, they pull all the young faces out. So all the people like Ron Redhead, that was Assistant General Secretary in the South, he gone. Well, he might be on the executive by virtue of being an MP, but he does not hold an elected position on the NDC executive. Yeah? So, he lost his position as the Assistant General Secretary. Now it's Mr. Azam Rahman, Spice Isle Wheat Traders or whatever. Yeah. So he's now the Assistant General Secretary for the South. He's not a young face. No, not the senator. Yeah? Not the senator, Mr. Azam Rahman. So not the senator. So he's not a young face. He's not the new, youthful, vibrant, energetic face of the NDC. That they keep talking about the new, vibrant, energetic face of the NDC. So he gets you out. Rickelson, not a kind of youthful person. Yeah, he gone. They begin Pablo. Pablo face look young to all you. Pablo face ain't look like it look young for the last 50 years. Anyway, let me wash my mouth on that. But anyway. But that is who they bring in. Yeah? So you have all it. Mr. Tevin Andrews was the chairman. The 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 Tevin Background for he. Now you see the Putin deputy, I think is Randall Robinson, I think. So you realize all the young faces, and only realize something too. The crew that people often refer to as the rebel crew. You never hear me call any grouping any rebel and all kind of thing here. But the crew that you often see referred to on social media and other places as the rebel crew. You realize every one of them was taken off of the executive. They only onto the executive by virtue of being members of parliament right now, parliamentarians. But every one of them was taken off of the executive. And then elder people, retired people, were the people who were brought in to replace them. That is the face of the young, energetic, vibrant NDC, Sylvester Wallace. That is the face of the vibrant, young, energetic NDC, Pablo. Randall. That is the young, energetic face of the NDC right now, Mr. Azam Rahman. Only you see young, energetic faces? Yeah, that's the same people that was saying that out there the party are youth and so on. The NNP, when it came in, made sure that by this time, after coming into office, after being out of office for 4.5 years, made sure that about 3,000 to 4,000 young people by this time, I had to double check my figures, but somewhere around there, were already engaged in the new Imani program, already had people going to train to be nurses and so through the Imani program, who are full nurses right now, and various other people in different areas, some who are full police officers right now. They got the foot in, they go to training school, and now they are full police officers. And that was within months of coming into office. Not a year, within months. But you have a prime minister in this country that had his first convention since becoming the prime minister. And he couldn't even stand up in a public rally and speak to the Grenadian people on some of his achievements. He said he's doing a press conference this week. I look forward to the press conference. With bated breath, I look forward to the press conference this week. Yeah? So he couldn't stand up in a rally, When the NNP have a rally, we're able to stand up and say, we have done this, we have achieved that, we have achieved the other, we have done this. You have different speakers come out and speak on different issues. So whether it's to say how much we have done in housing or infrastructure, or what we've done with the economy, or what we've done for youth, or whichever area it is, we have people that are able to come out and speak on that. Instead, you had a prime minister come out, and I don't know if he was playing the guy that has introduced boxers. Introducing from the West, and all kind of nonsense like that. That is what he had to offer to you, the Grenadian people, in the public session of the NDC activity yesterday. He could not stand up on a stage and give you, the Grenadian people, he could not have stood up on a stage and given you, the Grenadian people, a report card. Since we came in office, this is what we've been able to achieve. He could not do it. All his members run up on stage, 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes at the most. Rah, 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 and then they run off the stage. I thought it was Soca Monarch contestant number 1. Contestant number 2. Introducing from the south of the island, contestant number 3, with his presentation, voting for Laco. One after the other, just run up and say thing. You bring a guest speaker. Well, I had to guess what the speaker was speaking about. Because the speaker, I don't think the speaker lasts 3 minutes on the stage. You expected somebody to come and say, well, okay, your party has been doing good. Look at what they've achieved in this or that or so. But he come, he can't see nothing they achieved, so he can't say nothing. So he take about 3 minutes. He tell them, support your party here, and he come off the stage. Tell me a lie. Tell me a lie. Because we all saw, those of us that saw it, saw that that is what happened. They had no achievements to talk about, because the only achievement they have since coming into office has been the Send Home program. Hold on the calls, I'll finish. Just now so you can call. Yeah. That's the only program they had. The Send Home program. No other successful program. scores of people from CJ's and Faith. What if they think we were afraid to say CJ's and Faith? Nothing was wrong with CJ's and Faith. They send home those people and refuse to pay the people that have to pay them to pay them. Just out of pure, nothing but pure spite and wickedness. People who work and deserve their salary, they refuse to give the people who are to pay them the salary to pay them. They refuse bluntly. We ain't paying that. But they find $1 million and give to a certain category of people who went to the courts and were told that they're wrong. They still take money and they give to them. But to pay the people that work in CJ's, no. Instead, they come and they run up their mouth and say all kind of thing about them as if something wrong was taking place there. You have the DPP, you know. If something was wrong, you know what to do. You have your Attorney General sitting down right there to give you legal advice. If something was wrong, you know what to do. Yeah? But in the interim, make sure them people get what they're supposed to get now. Yeah? So they come. And I don't know if they even realize what's going on with them, you know. Because when they look around, them ain't seeing them big space in the crowd and 3 people so and 4 day and 5 day. Them ain't seeing that, you know. Them looking at the crowd and to them, they're thinking it's the night of election and they're seeing the sea of yellow, you know. But that is for them to figure out. All right? Nice. Let me try to take a call. Let me see. And as soon as I go to take the call stop. So yeah, they use them young people to get in. And now the process of taking over. I tell you, remember, take your mind back to 2012 with the NDC convention, when certain people, after they push out others from the party, they come and they say, yes, we are back. Because all the time they're in the back and they're sticking knife in man, they're sticking pin in man, they're sticking thing. And now, I seen the same thing happening again. We have a caller.
Good night, Sheldon.
Good night.
My friend, what's up, man?
I'm more than good and I'm gooder than more.
Yeah, basically, the Barbadian here. The
Yeah.
man don't do nothing. He come and meet all these things and them in this country and you telling the man about what he could talk about what he achieved. What he was see when he was see what Dr. Michel started doing. The man, you know, and that is what he's doing. He's working according to the projects that he get there. You understand?
Hello?
You understand? The
Yes.
man don't do nothing and you give the man all his props. Watch, boy. Sheldon, watch. Don't give this man no props. This man don't do nothing. All what the man is doing is sending people home. You saying that the man sending people home and you talking about no. And this year they don't come to nothing. They have the best budget. Remember they have the best budget? Where the best budget? Everything gone down the drain. You don't hear nothing about the best budget again. If Dr. Mitchell didn't do anything, they didn't do anything.
Yes. Bejman, you're right, eh? You're right, man. Roma,
Yeah, my friend.
I shouldn't say anything.
Don't give them all the props. When you want to hear them, let it get up there and go the way, man. They ain't already yet. They ain't already yet, Sheldon Scott. They're ready, ain't it? Mine, not Sheldon Scott.
All right,
Bye.
my brother. Yes, indeed. Yeah. So, I mean, at least you could have say, well, look, we achieve A, B, or C, because I'm telling all you, there's a program I am going to do this week. I'm putting you all on notice. I have to speak about some stuff this week. And it's going to be a very, very informative program. And when I'm finished with it, it's not going to just be speaking about that program here. Other actions have to be taken in relation to what I'm going to speak about. I'm just going to hint you all that I am going to be speaking about something very important. I haven't made up my mind yet whether I'll do it on tomorrow night or I'll do it on Wednesday. But there is an issue I need to raise. I've been checking with different people, resource people on the issue, because I like to mark 10 times and cut once. I ain't on this thing where you're cutting and you're zigzagging. No, mark 10 times and cut once. If I have to mark 20 times, I'm marking 20 times and cut once. All right? But there are some things that are taking place. Yeah. All you know is the Gestapo. Yeah. Right now, this place starting to look like if they are Gestapo. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that's taking place. I think we have a caller on the line. Good night.
Hey, Sheldon.
Hi, good night.
Yeah, good program, brother.
All right, thank you.
Hey, you know what it is? The old guards of the NDC is still behind what's going on. So what they did, they could not have faced the electorate in June election. They realized that the electorates are very young people. So what they used the youngsters to go to the poll, and as soon as the youngsters won, guess what? They said, no, we're back in control.
We back. I remember that, Finsley St. Louis.
We're
back.
in control. Because they could not have faced the electorate because they are too old to face the electorate. They couldn't use the social media, so they used them. And now they get what they wanted. They say, okay, now, we are back in control. And by the way, the old guards do not know how to govern. They don't know how to govern because look at the failure with the Tillman Thomas and Nazim Bok administration. They were a total failure. But they haven't gone. They're still sitting around. They're still there. And they say, youngsters, go there and do the work for me. Do the dirty work for me. But you're not in charge. So that's what happened in the last convention, yesterday's convention. You know? So they turn around and screw them. That's what they did. Anyway, good program.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if you all can remember, I remember 2012, and I remember the exact statement that was made. Man come out raising their hand. We're back. Yeah, man, I remember that. We have a call online. Good night. Hello.
Good night, Sheldon. How are you?
Hey, I'm fine, man. You go right ahead. You're live.
Oh, okay. On the topic which you're speaking, I could say it was an indirect revolution by the elderly to the young ones. Yeah. The elderly members, the revolution, they did an indirect revolution within to take control of the party again. That's number one. Number two, the question I'm asking regarding the labor issue, right? You sure is the person could not have worked with the workers, or the workers cannot work with it? I find still, or the head of the labor cannot work with the person because nobody is asking that question. Yeah, you just call it.
Brother, I wasn't there when the tree fall, so I don't know how hard he fall.
Yeah, but nobody's asking that question because all of a sudden, you know, it's hard to believe that, you know, the either party cannot work with. That is kind of hard to believe in a sense because I sure the person who was there was not stranger to the workers, and the workers is not stranger to the person. Yeah. So that is kind of hard to believe in a sense. I mean, I don't know. Just take back, you know, just take a step back and think of what I'm telling you. Yeah.
All right,
yeah,
my brother.
You understand? And number three, keep an eye on the marketing board. Again, don't forget that one. Because still open and I wish.
we know they open. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Blessed.
All right. Yes, indeed, folks. And you know, before we go any further, before I take any more calls, I wanted to raise another issue. Let me see how I could say this. Now, the National Democratic Congress, on coming into office in June, they started accepting applications from people from Russia and Belarus. Two countries that have been sanctioned by the rest of the OECS and most of the world. But they started taking applications for the Citizenship by Investment program from people from those two countries. But let me show you this document first. I'm going to go to this document here. And this document that I have just put up on the screen is a report from an OECS meeting. Let me just double check the date on it here. I'll have to open it separately on my machine itself, which is taking its good old time to open everything. Yeah, so it is from the, let me just make sure on the exact date. I don't want to give the wrong date of that meeting. It is from an OECS meeting that was held. But where is this thing gone to? Nice, I think I have it here. Right, so the 25th of February. So that's not very long ago. That's just actually not even 2 weeks good ago. And one of the things that was agreed at that meeting, right? If you're seeing the numbers one, the agreements that they've made at that OECS meeting was the U.S., United States Caribbean Roundtable on Citizenship by Investment, right? They secured that agreement on 6 CBI principles. So between the Americans and the Grenadians and the, let me see who was there, the Kittians, St. Lucians, and Antiguans, Dominicans, it was agreed that these 6 areas would be things. The collective agreement on treatment of denial. So in other words, they work as a group on these different things. But in all of them, number 6 is the one that's most interesting to me. And when I'm finished with this one, I'll take the call. Let me see. Right. And before I go to that, let me just show you, because I want you to know who represented Grenada there. And you would see there, I think I've highlighted it, so you may be able to see it, right? That Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell represented Grenada at that forum. So he was there as Grenada's Prime Minister, Grenada's representative at that forum, when the 6th issue here was discussed. And let me show you, let me highlight for you what the 6th issue was here. It speaks to the treatment of Russia and Belarusians. Suspend processing applications from Russia and Belarusians. 4 jurisdictions have already suspended applications. That's the other 4 in the OECS who are dealing with CBI programs. No, St. Vincent doesn't have a CBI program. Right? And Grenada, which processes applications from Russians and Belarusians with enhanced due diligence, will suspend processing new applications from Russia and Belarus from March 31st, 2023. So, the government of Grenada have said, they have agreed at this meeting, let me pull it back up for you. They have agreed at this meeting that they are going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have agreed to do that. All right? So that Grenada, as of the 31st of March, would not be taking applications from Russians and Belarusians. And we all know what that's about. The Ukrainian war is taking place. And because of the war that's taking place in Ukraine, various sanctions have been imposed on both Russia and Belarus by the United States, by the European Union, by the United Nations and other bodies. Various things, sanctions have been placed on them. CBI programs around the world have stopped taking applications. Grenada is still taking applications, they say, with enhanced due diligence. Right? I think all due diligence was supposed to be enhanced. What do you mean enhanced due diligence? But anyway, so as of the 31st of March, they are supposed to stop, and I'm saying supposed to here, stop taking applications from Russians and Belarusians. So I think we all understand that part of things, right? So we all understand that as of that date, they're going to stop taking applications from Russians and Belarusians. But yet still, and let me show you this now, yet still, the government gazette that came out. Now, the government gazette Yeah, the government gazette serves several legal purposes. Certain decisions that have been taken by government need to be published in the government gazette. All right, so the government gazette of last week, this document speaks to a company, a Russian-based company that has now been okayed to deal with CBI here in Grenada for Grenada. Yeah, and I find that to be extremely strange that this company, yeah, it's on the government gazette there, has been given the okay to operate as a CBI company on behalf of Grenada. Yeah? So it says, notice is hereby given that pursuant to Section 13 of the Grenada Citizenship by Investment Act 2013, Global Citizen LLC at 42, don't even think about asking me to pronounce that word, it's about 27 letters long. Apartment 27, Moscow, Russia, has been granted the license of a marketing agent and is therefore authorized to conduct business in the state of Grenada pursuant to the terms and conditions specified in the said Grenada Citizenship by Investment Act 2013. And they give the agent license there. It's signed by Miss Purcell. So again, you can see here, this is contained in the government gazette. So if you are going to be stopping, if you have agreed at the OECS meeting that you are going to stop taking applications from people from Russia and Belarus, then how come in the government gazette you're okay in a company to do just that? That company go in and operate just for 3 weeks basically, or 4 weeks? Now I'm asking these questions because I find it something wrong. Oh, you're saying I'm pronouncing Belarusian wrong? It's Belarusian. I didn't christen them now. Wasn't that the baptism now? Not me. I didn't sprinkle water on their head. Yeah. But, so I am wondering here, how come you can have a government gazette coming out that basically says that the government is going to be doing something that it agreed in a regional meeting just basically days ago that it's not going to be doing? Yeah? How did this end up in the government gazette? And I've highlighted the portion there for you. The government gazette is available on the government website. Yeah? Some come out every so, I think it's nearly weekly. And they have special editions that come out and so as well. So, this has come out. And I'm wondering, I saw a story by Linda Straker in relation to it as well. So I am wondering, how come could the government be okaying a Russian company to deal with Russians in the Citizenship by Investment program, but at the same time, they've agreed at that meeting with the US and so on the CBI issue and so, that they are not going to be taking any more Russian and Belarusians, or somebody saying Belarusians, but Belarusians under Grenada's CBI program. Something ain't right there. Something ain't smell right there. I know my sense of smell kind of gone since after COVID, but still, something ain't smell right there. Something ain't looking right. Something ain't smelling right in relation to that one. And remember, the person who went to the meeting to represent Grenada is none other than the Prime Minister. I know you're going to be having a press conference sometime this week, so I'll make sure, media people, make sure and ask him about that, because I'm kind of interested in knowing what is the case in relation to that. I think we have a caller online. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm quite fine. Go right ahead, caller. You're live.
Well, I mean, the judge, a high court judge, of the OECS ruled that the teacher was not supposed to get the money, what the Prime Minister did. So that shouldn't surprise you. But on the subject matter of, and actually, before I go on, concerning that very type of things, if a judge issue a restraining order against somebody or in a situation, and that person defy that order, that person would be arrested, isn't it?
Yes. You've
maybe they cannot,
contempt of court.
maybe they have to wait until the Prime Minister demit office to arrest him. So, but in due time, it might happen. You never know. But joke apart, and it might happen. We could issue an order to get him arrested. When I say we, I mean the citizens.
We, Papa, I take it back now.
No, you stand for now. But listen to this. Yesterday, when I was trying to get on another program, where that issue of the Labour Commissioner was being discussed a whole lot. I dealt with the subject matter a whole lot yesterday evening.
Mm-hmm.
But another aspect of it I didn't get on to, and when I was going to get to it, I'll say later on in the program, I tried to call back, but the program just about ended around that time, so I couldn't get you. But a gentleman brought it up a while ago, one who said he's calling from away. And that I was thinking about it for the whole evening. And that is a critical aspect of it. Listen to this. The Prime Minister himself said, before he became Prime Minister, actually, too, that contract work in this country given by government is illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Because if there's a permanent position within the service, that person has to be employed as such, and giving them contract is an illegal act. Here comes a situation now with the last Labour Commissioner given a 2 job. I want to hear the Minister for Legal Affairs in talking about the time when she is dismissed, that she would be. So if you work for 5 months, you'll get 6 months pay. If you work for 4 months, you'll get 5 months pay. Something like that, I understand it to be. But here's the problem, I think. Because contract work is illegal, the Public Service Commission cannot give her money for 2 years. Because if the Public Service Commission dismiss her, they could give her that 1 month pay. But the lady has to get, by right, 2 years, right? Because it's a contract. Mm-hmm. And for breach of contract, you could be sued. So if she has to get a 2 years pay, the Public Service Commission cannot give her. You see the technicality there?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This commission would not be able to give her. So it means that the Minister for Finance and the Legal Affairs Minister would have to find that money to give her, and it wouldn't have to be taxpayers' money this time. You get the point?
Man, this one is a ticklish one.
That's the situation I'm seeing, because the Public Service Commission cannot give her 2 years pay, because it is illegal for she to be working in contract in a permanent position. The 2 years contract.
Well, if she wants the audio of the Prime Minister saying that it is illegal to do so, she could check me. I'm willing to help out.
What I'm saying is that the fact that it is illegal, the Public Service Commission cannot give her 2 years pay. To give her, but it's 2 people in the cabinet that have to find that money, not taxpayers' money for sure, mm-hmm. to give that to that lady. If she tried claiming her 2 year contract money, that's the technical that is happening there right now from what I see.
Mm-hmm. All right.
This evening, it's a very interesting subject.
Yes.
Take care, sir.
All right. Thank you very much.
Very good.
Yeah, I don't know what started happening to the internet there. It was kind of giving a problem, not only with the caller, but I realized my internet in here started to fizzle a little bit too. Yeah, it started giving me a little thing inside here. No, Antonito, it's not who you think it is. It is. Yeah, but the caller was saying something there, and it is true, because we have the Prime Minister saying
that an NDC government will move Grenadians out of poverty, as he referenced the World Bank report, which states that 35% of the population is poor.
That was before the pandemic hit. Now that the pandemic has hit, I don't need the World Bank to tell me that the figure has gone even higher.
Mitchell also addressed the issue of contract workers.
When you are placed on 3 months contract, 6 months contract, 12 months contract, it is unlawful. It is illegal. And if it is going to take another High Court judgment to say that the government of Grenada cannot treat its own citizens that way by breaking the law, then so be it.
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell has...
So you hear what he had to say in relation to contract work. And there are several other instances we can play of the then just leader of the NDC in opposition, saying about contract work being illegal. We have other audio of him saying just that. And while saying that, they still come in and putting people into, because the Labour Commissioner is an important position. But they put a person on contract. Yes, the Public Service Commission can give a contract. So they gave a contract through that body. And we have a caller on the line. Let me answer. Good night.
Yeah, good night, brother Sheldon.
Hey, good night, sir.
How you doing, my brother?
Hey, my bro. What's up, man?
Not too bad. And good night to the listening public, the viewing public, wherever you are on the different platforms. You know, good night, blessed night to all. And so, you know, well, if you notice, I've been off the airwaves for a while, you know, for a number of reasons. But I just wanted to make a contribution when it comes to the whole question of the former Labour Commissioner. Because, you know, at some point in time, well, very sort of family, all right? What I can say, though, that she has retained a lawyer, though. I can say that for sure. So what, you know, a lot of the comments you may hear from other people, and so you definitely won't hear anything from her. Because as the Minister of Legal Affairs says, she is a professional, right? But a situation like that is not surprising that what the minister, right, did, right, or the NDC government did. They like to eat the young, and I keep saying that. They like to use their own supporters, and when they can't basically get them to do what they want, they destroy them. And that is what they are trying to do with Ms. Thomas, to destroy her. Don't give her a chance to defend herself and everything like that. So it's a whole, I mean, coming up in the future, you will hear a lot of things when it comes to what happened on the day she was dismissed and
my brother, let me tell you where birds tell me. Because, you know, I have friends.
Of course.
And I hear people storm out. I hear bacchanal cat. No scratching didn't take place, but I mean, I hear things. I hear people had to leave, just take the thing and go one time, you know.
Yeah, so it's a whole conspiracy thing, in my view, from within that whole ministry. And you see, but it's no surprise of the individual Minister Claudette Joseph and her actions. All right? And in a broader thing, that's the way how NDC operates. You don't toe their line, they will destroy you. Make no mistake about that. And I could say that with authority. Right? Because that is what they try to do with me in particular. When I decided not to go ahead with some garbage principles set by former Prime Minister Tillman and others. You understand? When I go against it, they say, you know what? We have to cut him down. And by doing that, and here one of the things that they do. They will starve you to submission. They will ensure that, for example, you working with government, they will take that job away from you. Right? And they will make sure that you don't have an opportunity to work with government or even the circles around government. That is what they do.
Let me tell you,
understand? They
my
did it
brother,
to me
Devon,
and others within the organization. So I'm not just saying that just right?
Devon,
that's just
the
sorry
Prime
for the noise in
Minister,
the background.
the Prime
that's
Minister,
just the hallmark of these guys.
The Prime Minister had to visit the housing project in St. David in the last week. You know what they did? They fired the security and them earlier in the week so that they wouldn't be around when the Prime Minister visit. That is how low-minded these people are. They know that the Prime Minister and a team go in and visit during the week last week. So early last week and then the week before, they fire all the security that was working there. They get rid of them because they don't want them around when their team visiting. They only want people that they feel should be working there to be there when they visit. That's the kind of attitude and mentality of these individuals.
Watch. NDC presently have the most successful service industry going on right now. The unemployment service industry. Because from the time they come in, they just keep on taking away people's bread and butter from them. Over 1,000 people has lost their jobs. You understand? From this government. Look at what they do to the elderly people and the persons who need the assistance. They take away money from them. You understand? Look at what we happening to us right now with the electricity bill. You're paying extra tax on water, sugar, all these type of things. These are things that directly affect the poor people, the lower class people. So that is why when I say that these people don't have a heart for the majority of Grenadians, I mean it, because look at their actions. And in the meantime, while they suffering people and taking away from people, they add into their wealth. They add $2,000 every month to their salary, right? And they just come in, right? Look at it. They allege that the minister, the MIT minister, got a big loan, personal loan from the government coffers. I mean, these are things that they are doing, and they expect people to shut up and don't say anything. Come on, man. That will never happen. It will never happen, and as a people, we must ensure, right, that we stand up in whatever way we can and let them know that we will not stand for this kind of foolishness. We are too educated. We know politics, right? We are in tune with how government is being run, so they can't fool us.
Devon.
Anyhow, brother Sheldon.
Doran.
I think
Devon, Doran. Wait. Yes, he moved the pull on Andy, boy.
Of course, watch.
Andy don't realize what the men do him up to now. He still don't realize what George William and them do to him, you know.
They set him up. They set him up. You know what the next move for him right now?
Out.
The next move for him right now is outing.
Yeah. Let you don't check yourself.
Because I'll tell you one thing. You see that stunt he tried against Larry Barry, right? And everything. You see how they use him to cut him down. Even the dum-dum on the next side being campaigning for him. And that sort of thing. But they use him and they're going to cut him down, bring him down to the lowest level right now. And then he got to leave. And when he leaves, that's where you see problems go start. You understand? But I mean, that's the order. But I want to make one appeal, though, to all our supporters, NNPIs, right? Those of you who decided last election not to come out and vote for whatever reason, right? I'm not blaming you. The party is not blaming you. You made a decision that you felt comfortable with. But I want to urge you, going forward, we need to organize. We need to put ourselves, our units together, the different constituencies, and prepare to take governance away from these guys. We have to prepare. We have to put our house in order. Let us stop the quote-unquote bickering around and taking propaganda from that side and try to bring it into our camp to infest it. Let us be careful of that. But let us be mindful that the job that we have to play at this point in time, people are depending on us. People are depending on us to stand up and defend them. Yes, we made a mistake. Persons made a mistake and put these guys in office. They did not listen to experience, right? And we feel, all of us is feeling the pain. But we must not let that deter us from what is important. We have to focus on moving forward, organizing our party, ensuring that we do what it takes. So when that time comes, right, the people will know that the Team LNP is ready to take Grenada forward again, because these guys are making a mess out of it. By the time we take office in the next 2 or 3 years, perhaps, I mean,
don't let people
Grenada
cost you,
we
boy.
have to almost
Say
start
no.
all over again.
People say they
but we
wanted
are
this
capable.
year. All right, my brother.
Anyhow, blessed night to you, comrade. And
Yes,
hey,
man.
despite you not hearing me, I'm always listening.
Okay, my brother. Always call.
All
That
right?
we have to do.
One love.
All right, stay blessed.
Take care. Blessed night, everyone.
Yes, that's our good brother Devon. Yeah, Devon Romain giving us a little contact there. Nice. And hey, folks, there is an activity. Yes, the new National Party Women's Arm. They will be staging the International Women's Day activity this Wednesday. And it's going to be taking place at the Arena in St. Patrick from 5 p.m. So, women of the party, you know where you're supposed to be. Be there and seated by 4:30, huh? Yeah, those of you that can make it at that time. The others, if you're struggling a little later after, that is nothing but make it. All right, so it's going to be taking place at the Arena in St. Patrick. And that's going to be from 5 p.m. this Wednesday. Not next week Wednesday, right? This Wednesday, as in the day after tomorrow. All right, so those of you, especially in St. Patrick area, who could make it, those from you from St. Andrew and St. John's and St. Mark that could come up the road, nice, do it. And those of you in St. George, yeah, you could make up your little bus and thing and head on up. So that is the women's arm of the new National Party. They're having the International Women's Day activity at the Arena in St. Patrick, and that starts from 5 p.m. And Devon Romain, yeah, Kathy says good night. Yes, our good friend Kathy out there in the U.S., she says a special good night to you, Devon. All right, folks, 44073. Let me just, I've been leaving the phone line engaged and people calling and I'm not seeing it. 44073, you see, just like that. Yes, and we have a call online. Good night. Hello.
Hey, Sheldon, good night. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good, man. Let me say good night to Doc also. Sheldon, on the issue of the CBI program, my opinion is that those guys was told to cease and desist from the operation. You know, when the big guy put his foot down?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the big guy put his foot down and tell them cease and desist, because when you go back in 2022, the guys, they, when Russia invaded Ukraine, the NMP government suspended that CBI program with Belarus and Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Only to find out that when NDC took the reign, they reinstated the program. They reinstated the program, only to find out that then the E2 visa, the status for the E2 visa was changed.
Yeah.
And then they try to maneuver around that. And like on the letter that the documents that you showed there, 4 of the countries was in line. Only Grenada that was out of line. So, my opinion, I think that they was told to cease and desist from the operative that day. The manner in which they was conducting business with that CBI.
Brother man.
And it shows again, that's another instance of, inexperience, these guys, when they think that they doesn't have to listen to anyone, they doesn't understand the wall operatives, the wall order, as much as you might be a country, but sometimes you have to take a cue from
the big boss,
the bigger guys on the top. So I guess he in that meeting he had a rude awakening. He wouldn't tell us that, but I knew he had a rude awakening.
Because they ain't coming out directly and tell you stop it, They doesn't come out directly and tell you stop it. They would tell you everything to make you know you have to stop it, except stop it.
Yeah, I know that. But I'm just saying.
It's very diplomatic.
He found that out the hard way.
Yeah.
They would not tell him directly stop it, but he found it out. He found out himself. This from what he's doing. They wouldn't put it that way, but I'm putting it that way. You understand?
Yeah.
The big guy let him know, listen, you got to cut it out.
But even after that, brother, even after that meeting, because that document that I showed a while ago is dated the 3rd of March. 3rd of March. So even after that meeting, they still okayed a company, a Russian company, to deal with that, and the Russian company is going to be dealing with is Russians that are going to be trying to get for the CBI program.
And that's what when I saw that document, that troubled me a little bit, because I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna pay a price again. We're gonna pay a price for that, because these guys don't understand that when you do things like that, the backlash the country starts to face is some. I mean, I don't know, man. They just think that they can do what they want whenever they want, and not realizing it doesn't work that way. Because that document that you put up there, it's just a matter of time we're going to see something coming down towards that CBI program. Something going to come out again.
Yeah, because they don't make jokes.
I mean, you go to a meeting and then, you take a decision, as to cease from what you're doing, and then still come out with another document that you approve a Russian company to do business. I mean, how baffling that can be. I don't know. I mean, a little school child should be able to understand that. A little primary school child should be able to understand that you went in a meeting and you have to, cease from what you're doing. How could you publish that kind of document now? Antagonizing the very same people that you had the meeting with not to do what you're doing. Maybe they got mixed up with the date, child. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they got mixed up with the date.
The government gazette doesn't get mixed up with dates now, brother. I could see some government gazette documents. I found them online from
I had to put it that way because
the 1950s.
That's not stupidity, though. You have to invent a new word, because, if you went to a meeting at that caliber and had to face from what you were doing, why would something like that come up now? Like I tell you, a primary school child should be able to understand that. It's straightforward.
All right, my brother. Thank you so very much for your input.
Yeah, man.
All right. Thank you.
All of it.
Yes, indeed. 440-7377. That's a 440. Yeah, and I put the documents up again a while ago to make sure that you all could see what we've been speaking about. And this is not I'm not going to speak on something here now, because it's not the first, second, third, or fourth message I'm getting about this. About what some of our nurses, well, all of our nurses are going through. That they are short-staffed at the hospitals. And they're finding themselves now having to work double and staying over the shift because there's no one to relieve them. Now, I heard them speak about they brought in 20 or so, 20, 24 nurses recently. But this situation is still taking place. In fact, it's also taking place at our mental health facility at Mount Gay, to the point of where it can endanger the people who are working there and the people who are housed there. We have a caller. Good night.
Yes, good night.
Good night.
It is a very interesting situation in Grenada vis-a-vis the government foreign policy. It's difficult to understand the foreign policy.
That voice sound familiar.
Yeah. At one stage, the government seems to want to hug up Daniel Ortega and Cuba. At another stage, they're selling marketing board. They seem to want to fire the Russian. At another stage, they're establishing office in Russia. It's extremely difficult to understand the government foreign policy, and it could have serious consequences for our country. Look at the attitude of the government towards in the Ministry of Labor. They feel that the person in labor have to be friendly with them. This is a serious issue. It shows a high level of arrogance and immaturity. And the time has come for, I believe, people in this trade union to understand that the direction we are going could well cause us to damage this economy irreparably. When the economy is damaged, the first people to suffer is workers in the country. And workers, the union representative have to understand that. No matter how much you like your political party, the interests of your workers must come first. My greatest fear is we have to go back to the International Monetary Fund on our knees. You know, that is my greatest fear. And I do hope that perhaps based upon the program and some people listening, since it's so difficult for them to challenge the facts, the information, and the truth on your program, they will go back and sit down and reconsider some of the action in the name of the economy. You know, it's nice talking to you, brother.
All right, and thank you so very much. You don't know the amount of respect I have for you. Eh? Thank you so very much, sir.
It's so important for people to there are some issues you could just forget the politics a while and examine the issue for what it is. And this situation we are on, we seem to be going on the slippery slope fast.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much. And folks, just remember, Real FM from 12, and you could hear that voice speaking on various issues. Real FM from 12. You could look for him on YouTube, on Facebook, and on 91.9, 91.5, and on D, as in the letter D, Real FM, Grenada.com. And you go hear that same voice discussing various issues, Mr. Pierre. All right, 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside. And you know something? Strange enough, I was listening some stuff today. And while I was listening it, I heard something. And it brought me right back to an interview that was done not too long after the person who holds the office of Prime Minister became political leader of the NDC. And I remembered him making a statement because, you know, when I heard him making the statement, I said, but this is the same person that had been attacking the NNP and accusing the NNP of something similar.
Would CBI be funding your campaign in any way?
I don't know if that would be funding my campaign in any way. But I would say this, given what I've said about the CBI campaign, if there are persons in the CBI wish to donate to the National Democratic Congress, I will certainly accept the funds.
Yeah, that's the voice of the present Prime Minister that's saying that if people in CBI want to donate money to the NDC campaign, he's willing to take it. He'll take it. That's the same people I was speaking about, people with CBI and funding of political parties. And so, yeah, I had forgot that interview, you know. I had forgot that interview. And it's interesting that even after, I'm not making any accusations here. Let's be careful because, you know, they want all are we bad. So I'm not making any accusations here. I'm just saying I find it very, very strange that a CBI company out of Russia is registered as a CBI agent in Grenada officially through the government gazette just days after an agreement at the OECS that you will no longer be taking application from Russians. I find that to be kind of, all these things have me kind of confused. Yeah, they have me kind of confused because I remember when he made that statement.
Would CBI be funding your campaign in any way?
I don't know if that would be funding my campaign in any way. But I would say this, given what I've said about the CBI campaign, if there are persons in the CBI wish to donate to the National Democratic Congress, I will certainly accept the funds.
Yeah, he will certainly accept the funds. If there are people within the CBI that are willing to donate to the National Democratic Congress, he would certainly take the funds. He will certainly accept the funds. Not to say it again, that is not me. It's not me talking there. You know who asking the question? That's Callistra Faria.
Would CBI be funding your campaign in any way?
I don't know if that would be funding my campaign in any way. But I would say this, given what I've said about the CBI campaign, if there are persons in the CBI wish to donate to the National Democratic Congress, I will certainly accept the funds.
Just remember, that's the man that up to now cannot bring this so-called cabinet conclusion that we could tell you doesn't exist, that claims that how much thousands of dollars had to be paid to the new National Party and how much had to be paid here and there. He cannot bring it because it doesn't exist up to this point in time. He can't bring it, right? That same individual was saying that they are willing to accept money from people within CBI. That same individual. But then he tries to make it look as though if the new National Party was getting funding from anybody involved in CBI, that something was wrong with that. I'd forgotten about this piece of audio. Yeah, and just by chance I was going through something and I found it today, you know. But there are a lot of other things that he said in that interview that we're going to discuss in close order. But as I said, there is a major issue that is coming up, a major issue. It involves me, it involves you. And as far as I see it, it is yet another attempt, another layer. Now, remember, the secrecy documents, the oath of affirmation that they're making the various public workers sign, that is one. But there's something even worse than that coming up. Yeah, something even worse than that coming up. I call it the Gestapo document. And we're going to be having a discussion on that later this week. We ain't going to have a discussion. We'll have a discussion later in the week in relation to that one. Because I say I want to cross all them T properly. Yeah, make sure my penmanship is proper. And dot all my I's and make sure all my cursives, yeah, that they're drawn properly and so on. I want to make sure. As I said, I prefer to cut 10 times, draw 10 times and cut once than to cut 10 times. Yeah? So I'm going to make sure that when we speak on this issue, that I take it apart and speak to you in depth on that particular issue. I believe it affects me, it affects you, it affects every Grenadian. So I will be coming to you with some more information on that in the near future. Again, the phone number 440-7377, and for those of you outside of Grenada, 347-329-3101. That's 347-329-3101. You can call and you can get into tonight's program, because remember too, these are the same individuals. Yeah, contract work. Remember contract work, You're supposed to be having that.
Employment. And NDC government will put an end to contract workers in the public service as soon as it takes office. There is no need for a parallel public service in Grenada. All workers will be given permanent status. This will allow these workers to enjoy the same benefits that a current public servant now enjoy. We will also ensure that all workers benefit from pension and gratuity once and for all.
Yeah, and I'm trying to find another document that I have here that we have been using recently. And for some reason, it seems as though I have misplaced that document. But remember, because I am hearing today that all of the staff within the ministry, well, now it's no longer Ministry of Youth. They have diminished it until it's now a Division of Youth. Yeah, I remember when the NNP came in, the first time it was Division of Youth, and then they made it department, then it became a full-fledged ministry. Now youth has gone back down to being a division. That alone should have tell you what going on happened at the convention yesterday was going to happen. But anyhow, that the contracted workers inside there were called into a meeting. Yeah, and upbraided. That now their work schedule is from 8 to 4 and different things like that. They've been told, yeah, kind of rough them and rattle the cage and all kind of, the same people that tell, don't tell. Yeah, we know. Yeah, you understand how you think does work. Yeah, rattle the cage, Miss Perryman. That's what you're doing. You call them people in and rattle the cage. Yeah, that they have to work from this hour to that hour and this and that and all kind of thing and laying down a set of rules. But remember, this is also the same government that said that within 12 months, that's a promise, within 12 months of taking office, they will hire all the Imani trainees. No, I'm not just saying this. This is a campaign promise of the NDC that we will be playing for you this week. Letting you know what I'm working on, We'll be playing for you this week. Campaign promise. Within 12 months, they would hire all the Imani trainees and regularize the contracted workers within the government service. So, Ms. Perryman, those contracted workers you called in, according to the present Prime Minister, when he was just leader of the NDC, he promised that these people would be regularized, that they ought to be full-time employees of whether it's division, department, or Ministry of Youth, that they would be full-time employees. You all are already continuing the practice that Yes, the NNP did it, but you all say it was wrong. That these people ought not to have to pay their own NIS. It is you all that said that was, in fact, listen, this was the political leader of the NDC.
But I just want to reflect a little on the consequences of our workers being placed on contract and of the consequences of our workers being branded as Imanis and placed on contract. The consequences of that are, as I've said, you will not have a pension. For many of the contract workers, the government of Grenada has told them that they are required to pay their own NIS. And I'm calling out the National Insurance Scheme because we all know that if a private employer refuses to pay the NIS contributions on behalf of his employees, they will be hauling him to the High Court, to the Magistrate Court. They will be auditing him up left, right, and center, and they will be hounding him down to ensure that the contributions are paid. The National Insurance Scheme is therefore required to ensure that the government of Grenada pays the NIS contribution for all of the employees of the government of Grenada. And let us understand what that means. It means if NIS is not being paid for you, you will not get an NIS pension, as little as it is. You will not be able to claim NIS sick leave. You will not be able to claim NIS maternity leave. You will not be able to claim a workplace benefit injury. The question, therefore, is why would a government that cares about its people, about its workers, place its workers in a position where the statutory scheme that has been established since 1983 for all workers to have social security benefits like maternity leave, like sick leave, like workplace employment injury benefits, like a pension, like a funeral death grant, be taken away from you by the government refusing to pay your NIS contributions. It is wrong, it is illegal, and the National Democratic Congress commits that on forming the next government, we will immediately cease the practice of requiring our employees to pay their own NIS.
Yeah, just remember that is being said by the same Prime Minister, Minister of Finance, who now has asked those staff members who are under contract for service within the Ministry of Youth, who he was speaking about there, he has now come and enforced the same thing on them and asked them to pay their own NIS. The same, all that he said there, he came back and he do the same thing. All that he said there. Just like when he tell people, well, 650, you know, they ain't giving all you enough, they should raise it to 650, and then he take 150. Believe me, you know, I believe that they will raise the money back by 150, you know, they might even raise it by 2. But they're waiting until we stop talk about it to make it look as though they do it on their own, and that we, our voices, mine and yours, didn't force them into that position. That's what they're trying to do. Yeah? And right now they're trying to, everything, they want to lock it down. They don't want no information to come out, like what is in various facilities around the island. And oh boy, something is going on with the system tonight. I realize it just dropped off there again. So I hope it's back up and running properly. Yeah, because I realize it just dropped off there again. So yeah. So they don't want you to understand what's going on in the Mount Gay facility. That if you do not have the proper complement of staff at the Mount Gay facility, where there are various categories of people that are suffering with mental illness, that there are some who can be violent. There are some who have the mental illness and they won't hurt a fly. But there are some who may have that category of mental illness where they need to be restrained and so at different times. And if you don't have the full complement of staff there as the quota per patient, to have that full complement of staff there, what you are doing is endangering the staff that are presently at the facility. And you already don't have enough medication for them in the first place to make sure they level out. So that is an issue. And then it extends not only from Mount Gay, but to the General Hospital and other facilities that now a nurse shift finish and it still don't have enough nurses, that they end up in a situation where they have to stay on. When they should be going home to their families or going home to rest, they have to stay on. You know what's going to happen? That's going to cause some of them to act aggressively. because they need to rest. The body needs to rest and recuperate. And sometimes you need to reset the mind. And not taking them out of that facility for enough time for them to be able to mentally refocus and reset. It may make some of them aggressive, hence the behavior you may see from some of them. I'm not making excuses. I'm saying what the reality is. So come on, look at these issues. You already have a situation in the police force where the number has gone over 100, heading for 200 officers now that just bring in the documents, they're ready to go home, you know. Pay me and send me home. I ain't taking the nonsense inside there. You have police officers within the Royal Grenada Police Force that are in acting positions right now and who going on leave, pre-retirement leave. So these people may not get that proper... What happens with them if they are retired while acting? Do they get the upper or the lower wage? All of that, you have to ask yourself. Folks, that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you, and we intend to be with you tomorrow again. My name is Sheldon Scott. Love each and every one of you. And you know what? Yeah, we're gonna give you that one as we're heading out from here tonight. Please, in whatever you say and do it safe and secure. Want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. Love you all unconditionally. We're back tomorrow from 8 p.m. with Talking Points. And remember, yeah, from 12 o'clock tomorrow, on target, Mr. Francis Pierre. Nice? Great. Out of here.
Let's go. I really had fun writing this ISO, so please don't take me serious. Oh no. And if you take it out of context, it's your damn business when you get vexed. They say I only sing when the Congress in power. That may as well be the case. It doesn't change the price of rice and sugar. And then we get the bag of licks, who the hell know where they go? Maybe by the Baptist man for Shango. But they have a great history of returning with landslide victory. But I could see they're making preparation, even though they don't have in convention. So forget NNP and govern the place, cause too much tears run down people's face. Falling with their mouth closed. How they do that, only God knows. Man who could talk, they balling with their jaws locked. I thought only dummies used to do that. A lady told me she's dying in